Hi everyone, this is March psychic reading for Tauruses, for those in love with Taurians as well, obviously. So let's see what the energy of the month has to tell us. The first thing that came up is about Taurus men, I would say. That's how I feel. And it is a warning, if you ask me, for Taurus men. They need to learn how to be more involved in the family life. I always said that Taurus men are very focused on work and on career and on financial stability. And I mean financial stability. It's not about making money, it's about money that lasts, making money that lasts. So whilst I can completely understand that, and it's very typical for your star sign Tauruses, you need to be careful because you might just get hit with something that you don't expect. It could be, I don't want to say divorce, but legal aspects. It could be that kind of attitude for family members who feel like you don't pay attention to them. And to be fair, you kind of are with your back on a lot of family activities and life. I suppose perhaps it's not just down to you. You need to have this conversation with your family members. I would say relationships, so partners, if you ask me, because you both need to change. They need to learn to accept you a bit more, and you need to learn to give them a bit more. So I suppose in a way, just because I like Tauruses maybe, and I'm a bit biased, or perhaps no, actually no, it's not. It's because it's right like that. Once you get into, and this applies to everyone, okay? So that's how I realize that it's not, I'm not biased. Once we get in a relationship with somebody that we know, or we have been in a relationship for a while and we got to know that person, we have to also learn to accept them. And we can't just expect them to change, we have to change first. So if you are in love with a Taurian and you are in a relationship with them, yes, they are not perfect, however, nor are you. And you both need to learn to give and take. You both need to learn to meet each other halfway. If you like life with Taurians, you need to learn to understand them better and accept them better, or you can just walk away and change what you don't like. However, if you can't change, learn to accept what you don't like. That is for those in love with Taurians, and especially for those who are also in a very close relationship with Tauruses, like partnership, life partnerships, love relationships. Because I see, yes, they are kind of out of it action wise. I'm talking because they are very focused on working, and that is typical them, that is their nature, and you after all enjoy the money they bring in as well. However, that's not to say that they shouldn't involve themselves more in the family life, because they always say they provide for the family, and to a certain degree is absolutely correct. But at the same time, Taurians, listen, it's not just about the money, it is about the love and the relationship and about emotions. And if somebody is with you, is because they want some of your emotions and your warmth and love as well. So whatever is going on there with you Taurians, you got to start learning to get more involved in the family life, to get and that means on every aspect, and to make sure you know exactly what is going on, what is going down in your family, because I feel there is a bit of a shocker coming your way otherwise. So please be aware and pay attention to what is going on there. You tend to focus way too much, I would say, on communicating about things to other people. So again, you know, you got to remember charity starts at home. We all have to learn to do things for our close and loved ones first and then for others, because you seem to be very focused on how to communicate in the best way, to teach people how to do things, how to overcome misfortune, because you have the experience, you have been through that disappointment, and not just disappointment, but when you felt beat by the situation and you couldn't find a way, and you struggled and you wanted to change it and couldn't find the best way of changing it, and eventually you had the breakthrough and all that kind of stuff. It's absolutely brilliant. It's good. You know, you do motivate and help people. However, people also need to go through their own personal journeys, and they are not always ready when we want them to be. Trust me, I suffer with that frustration when I just feel like kicking people into action as fast as possible, because they just seem to take forever and longer and kind of sleepwalking. But so I completely get you in that respect, but at the same time you got to think what you want to do about your relationship, Taurus men. And I'm going to ask and see whether your relationship needs needs better management on both sides. You and your partner needs healing as well. Your relationship, by the way, especially Earth, actually no, not just Taurus Virgo and Taurus Capricorn, so not just Earth and Earth. I feel that is about people. Well, of course you got to remember what your star sign, your rising sign and your moon sign at the same time for more info and better clarification. So I feel that's not just about two earth signs in a partnership. I feel that is also about any partnership, as far as I'm talking family partnership. So love relationships for Taurian men, they need a better way of managing their relationships. You know, the patience has been stretched, communication is not great, there are difficulties there, and there are worries. So I feel that you both are quite aware that things are not great in a way, and there are areas of concern and reasons for concern. Not only that, but reasons about worries about how this is going to end, not necessarily the relationship, but the strenuous situation and the problems in the relationship, how this is going to end, how this can be transformed from an old chapter into a new chapter, and carry things forward. However, let me see if there are any Tauruses that need to really look at relationship, proper renewal of relationship. You need to rest first and foremost, both you and your partners, Taurus men. Let me see what else. The energies go from being settled to being quite fiery. However, the problem is there is not enough energy put into healing the relationship. So if you don't want any nasty surprises in your love life, Tauruses, and I'm talking about Taurus men, you have to look into your relationship and decide whether it can be healed and shift to a next level, or whether it has to be dealt with and move on to another chapter. Everyone walk their own path. So you really have to look into that, proper look into that. Another thing that I get about another set of Tauruses, changing financial situation, improving and trying to find new ways and better ways of investment, I would say, because I feel there's been a partnership with fire sign women, or with women of that kind of with that kind of personality, fiery, feisty, strong characters. And let me see why there is this element of newness, because on one hand I know that okay, so it's like at some point, whatever has been going on in your business partnerships, Tauruses, whether it's I would say business partnership, because I'm getting investment, I'm getting property. It could be anything else, like family connection. So people, Tauruses, and again I would say Taurus men who support other family members, this time not relationship, I'm talking about siblings, parents, and other relatives. They have to look at some kind of confusion and things not being said when it comes to business partnership and investment and other sort of connections with either women or men of different culture, of different to you, or of different ethnicity of also men or women that you do business with. So you need to look into that as well. So I would say for Tauruses, partnerships and relationships seem to be very important and need attention. So this last one that I was talking about seems to have sort of fizzled out due to lack of energy. It's like it's been going on and on and on and on, and everything seemed all right, but at some point either one of the parties or both felt like there is not so much passion and involvement as it used to be. And again, I'm not saying passion as in love, but passion as in dedication and loyalty to the mutual investment or the venture you have together. Hence, you have drifted, or you're on the point of drifting. So again, another pattern, Taurus's relationships are drifting both in love and other partnerships. Not all of them, I'm talking about the most settled or long that have been going on for a long time. And these people that you have been in a relationship with, a partnership with, they are not quite happy about how things, the prospects of the future, how things seem to be going into the future. They feel like they have a fear. Now, I don't know whether they are right or not, because to be fair, if you ask me, I think that they are wrong. It's just because they feel things are changing. They pick up on the fact that things are changing, which is correct, but it's not necessarily changing in the wrong way. You're spreading thin, Tauruses, and they feel like they don't have a control. And the problem is with I feel these people felt like they need to control the situation, and that's the fear. They fear that they don't have control now, and they wonder in what direction this partnership is going to go. So Taurus men, pay attention to relationships, love relationships, family relationships, for those who are married and have children, and business partnerships and ventures, the long established ones as well, because it's like the energy's been stalling and it's a bit difficult. Then I have the Taurus women here who worry about blocks, who worry about losing faith and not finding a way of healing their heartache, because I feel there's been a bit of heartache for Taurus women, at least for some of them. Again, remember, look at not just star sign, but moon sign and rising sign as well. So a bit of heartache, and that is in not just, again, similar patterns, not just in the love relationships, but in the family connections as well. For Taurus women, they seem to have been a bit withdrawn, and perhaps to a certain degree a bit disappointed by members of the family, or they just didn't want to get too much involved with them because there was a lot of pressure and they wanted to kind of control their life, or involve themselves into their personal life more than Taurus women would like them to, because they are very determined women, hard, not hard in the sense of they are sensitive, so they are not hard people, but they are used to putting up with the tough stuff, and they can get through some very difficult times in their own way. You don't need to lecture them, you don't need to tell them how to do. Although that being said, Taurus women, you might actually have a thing or two to learn from other people if you would like to pay attention, because you're making your life very difficult. Don't be stubborn, don't be stuck. You're an earth sign, you tend to move too slowly towards healing, and that is a shame, because you're making yourself hurt and suffer for longer than you need to. And also you have choices to make in respect of work. I see you focusing on work, and I see you focusing on changing your life and changing communication. Sorry, I need to bring that here. Changing your profession, the role in your job, whatever you would like to go for. You seem it's now time to do that. I would say things will work out better for you after your birthday, Tauruses. So May, like late May. And then you will have to also make choices in respect of communication, both normal communication and love communication, because otherwise, if you don't change the way you communicate, which I feel sometimes can be as plain as non-communication, if you like, for some of you. So you need to look at the way you communicate and improve that, because otherwise you can't change and transform a situation, and you will end up regretting if you don't transform that situation. Let me see. So for some reason I seem to address to the Tauruses more than to those in love with them. I don't know why this is. Yeah, I do know why this is. This is down to their personality. They are not the kind of people who like too much involvement in their own life. They like to deal with things directly. Not that they are not sociable, but they only socialize if needed and as needed. So they like to take things head on, and well, that's the bull for you, I suppose. So yeah, the reading goes, as I said before, actually very much down to personality, and also not just the energy of the reading, but the tone of my voice, the energy of my of the way I convey the message and deliver the reading as well. Very, very interesting how spirit works. So Taurus women, and for those in love with Taurians, if you know them and are close to them or in a relationship with them already, please deliver this message, and also be aware that their behavior is down to all these things I told you about. They are focused on how to make things better in their lives and have financial stability, and anything that brings them stability. These people need to feel stable and rooted. So understand them, and if you want to be in a relationship with them, I will ask what if there is any specific message, but I can tell you now, yes, it is. So I'm practically predicting again what I'm going to say. This is the card that represents the High Priestess, represents the insight, the psychic message, the energy of myself as the psychic messenger, if you like. So it's what I was going to say to you that applies. If you are in love with Taurians, you need to understand them and accept them as they are, and only get into a relationship with them if you're not, or decide to stay in a relationship with them if you already are together, if you can accept them, because for these people to change is quite a bit of a job. They are kind of, you know, all I can say, of signs. That's all you got to think about. It's, and you know, the sign of the bull. So hard to get these people out of their routine and of their ways. Yeah, you can't make them snap out of their ways. So you need to change if you want to be with them, and if you truly love them, you love them as they are, not as you would like them to be. So if you can't love them the way they are, just don't go there, or rethink your future to save anyone from any heartache, further heartache, whatever. Yeah. So I hope this makes sense and helps you understand what is going on with your loved ones, what is going on in your life with them, if you are their partner or somebody in love and hoping to be with them. And obviously I hope this also helps Taurians get those warnings and loving guidance from above in order to make their life as good and as happy as they can and as they deserve to have it. So until I see you next time, be happy, be loved.